Hey everyone, this is Coach Phoenix.
And I'm Coach Gina.
And you with Toast with the Coaches. Cheers.
Hi everyone, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Perspective, the show where we drink and talk about life, the universe, and all that other jazz.
And again, I'm Coach Phoenix, founder and CEO of Role Model Life Coaching. At Role Model Life Coaching, we partner with our clients to navigate down the road of life towards their model self.
Definitely check out Phoenix. He's the best of the best. And I am Coach Gina. I'm a certified life coach and founder of Clear Focus Coaching, where we specialize in boundaries coaching and women empowerment. To find out more, check out clearfocuscoaching.com.
That link down low, definitely recommend. But at this time, I would like to raise a toast. I would like to raise a toast to a 63-year-old woman, but she's nobody's senior citizen. Oh no, this beautiful woman is a model, fashionista, a globe-trotting, retired woman that's living abroad. Australia native, Sheila, AKA Call Me a Gypsy. Cheers.
Cheers. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Lovely to be talking to you both this morning from Bali.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you. And as someone from Minnesota who just went through like 3 feet of snow on the ground, I'm a little bit jealous of Bali right now.
Well, I've never seen snow, only on Christmas cards and on TV. So I've never actually experienced snow. So I've never owned a coat or anything like that. I've always sort of lived in summer.
Really?
Well, you have an open invitation to come visit whenever you would like. I would love to share the snow with you.
Same here. I'm in Ohio. Come in the wintertime.
No, too cold. I'll Google.
You Google. I got you. Yeah. So let's get right to it. We found you. We thought you was a exciting and fascinating woman. We caught you and we seen your pictures and we noticed that you're 63 years old. You are Australia native, but you live in Bali and retired. Can you tell the audience and Gina and I, how do you maintain an amazing physique and you're retired and live in the mindset and the lifestyle that one could only dream and imagine of?
Well, as far as the physique goes, it's something I'm always consistent about. So it's not something, you know, some people, they'll say, I'm going to start a diet on Monday. I'm going to start a diet on New Year's Day. Yeah. I've never had to do that. I've always just maintained, probably since I was about 30, I've just always just done it. It's just a bit like, you know, brushing your teeth. You do it every day, you feel good. If you miss brushing your teeth, you feel crap. Same as exercise. So I don't even think about it.
It's a lifestyle for you.
It's not something I even think about thinking, oh, I've got to exercise today. It's just I get up, I do it. I always do about an hour's Bikram hot yoga in the morning. And then in the afternoon, I always walk about 6 kilometres with some weights. And I don't even have proper weights. I can't get them here in Bali. I want sort of 3 kilo weights. So I've just filled some 1 litre drink bottles with sand and, you know, just walk along doing all that you do. And it's as simple as that. It doesn't have to be expensive or, you know, you don't even have to go to a gym. I haven't been to a gym now for a year and I still can maintain. So there should be no excuses. Actually, a very good friend of mine in Australia, he's a motivational speaker. He actually has no legs and he still works out in the gym every day, just the upper body. So, I mean, if he can do it, I mean, I think everyone can do it. There should be no excuses why you can't.
Absolutely. There's these twins and one of the brothers, we have something called football. I know that you're familiar with football, probably, but it's probably considered soccer where you're at. We have something in American football where we have a pigskin. And one of the brothers, he doesn't have a arm or he doesn't have a hand. He was born with a disformity, but he's still in the NFL. He made it to the elite status and a professional NFL football player because of that drive and that determination. So like you said, there's no excuse. There's no excuse at all.
Yeah, you've just got to if you're out of your chair, you're overlapping everyone on the couch, aren't you? So you've just got to get up and do it. It doesn't have to be, heavy weights. You can just do a little bit, and you can, you can get better, stronger at any age. So, I don't think 63. I never really think that I'm 63, but I suppose I am, and I don't think that's old. To me, 63, life is just beginning. This is honestly the best time of your life, when you can, your kids are all grown up, and you've got grandkids, and you can just do what you like.
Yeah, that's the dream right there.
I feel like the naughty teenager.
I love that. My girlfriends and I always talk about that. We're like, you know what? I want to be the golden girls when we're older, and just being sassy and eating food and hanging out and having fun. Like, that's what you should be doing.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You don't want to be, some people have to work, of course, but, I've worked all my life. So now's the time to sort of just kick back and enjoy it a bit. It's lovely. Loving the time of life.
So I know that you are here, and you are definitely in an inspirational point in your life. I think, you're beautiful, you're successful, you're just loving and living life. And that is absolutely amazing. And so I want to know, what brought you here? How did you get to that point? And has it always been, such a beautiful life for you, or, kind of what have you experienced along the way?
Okay, we've always had a very interesting life. We've never had normal jobs. My husband was always an offshore oil field diver, so he travelled the world. And those were the days when there was actually, when you're thinking 25, 30 years ago, when there was no computer, there was no mobile phone. It was just, we write letters. Those are the days and you had a phone in the kitchen. You're probably all too young for those days. But
no, not at all. Technology. Yeah. Technology has had a crazy boom in the past 15 years.
Phones where you had to turn.
I know.
Yeah, exactly. I remember those days.
Yeah, so those were the days, and he would be away for months at a time. He might be in India diving, say, for 4 months at a time, sometimes 5 months. He'd be all over the place, South China Sea. And so I never used to go. We had 3 small children under 3. But then in those days I was modelling, and so I could sort of fit that into what I was doing, and my husband was doing, the diving. We've been married now. It's 44 years this year. We've actually been married.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
It's worked for us, and we've had a great time, and we've always had great holidays. Like, we would head off to maybe Sri Lanka, scuba diving or surfing, something like that. So we've always made it interesting. We've always had fun along the way. And then my husband, the kids were growing up, and he was getting a bit sick of going away all the time. He wanted to be home with the kids growing up. Possibly me as well, be home with me. Maybe it was just the kids, I don't know. But, so he wanted to stop diving, and he was used to work with guys out on the oil platforms that rode Harleys. And he just had this idea, let's start importing aftermarket Harley parts from the States. So we started to do that. And look, I knew nothing about Harley-Davidson parts, nothing, zip. But I'm a very quick learner, and I studied and studied. And we had that business for about, 17 years, 18 years.
Wow.
I can tell you any part on a Harley-Davidson motorbike, any nut, screw, bolt that you want, I can tell you. So we did that. So we met some very interesting people.
Wait. Can I drop a pin in that really quickly? Ask a question. So you didn't know anything about Harley-Davidson. Your husband had this crazy idea. So did he quit his job, and did you quit modeling, and then y'all just
No, I always did my modeling. So I didn't quit. I always did that. He stopped diving, and we started the business, and we actually grew it into the second largest importer in Australia. So we did really well with that. For 2 people bumbling along that knew nothing, we learned really quickly. Just bumbled our way through. Had a go. It's an Aussie thing to do. You just have a go. And we had a go. And honestly, dealing with bike riders, I really added some great words to my vocabulary as well. I was such.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine.
So I learned a lot of new English words, or maybe they weren't English words, but I learned a lot. But they were always very respectful and a lot of fun. And, we did that for a long time as well. And so we sold that maybe 10 years ago, maybe a bit less. And then at the same time, I started then doing lingerie, and that was just a fluke how I started that. An American company sent me a catalogue and said, would you like to sell leather lingerie? And I looked at the catalogue, thought, that's cute, but no one in Australia wears leather lingerie. So I didn't give it any thought. And then a friend of mine who worked for a magazine saw the catalogue. She said, Sheila, run with it. This is a really good idea. And she goes, let me put a free ad in for you in our magazine, see how you go. So knew nothing about lingerie either, apart from, my own undies that I wear. So she put the ad in the magazine, and first day we had 400 phone calls and we had orders. We had no lingerie. I had no knowledge. And next thing, I was on a plane to America to try and find out about it. And that was basically how then we started a lingerie business we had for about 25 years.
Oh, wow.
That is amazing.
So it was just all fumbling our way through, but we learned on the go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's one of the key components that I've seen in people who are successful is not always that they are the brightest or the most capable or what have you, but that they are a quick study. They're willing to learn and that they are resourceful. And if you have those two things, you can do almost anything. If you're resourceful and you can learn.
Smart. Yeah, street smart.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
So where do you gather, like, where do you get that street smarts? Did you grow up like that? Did you grow up in a situation where you had to scrap your way through life, or did you have parents that just taught you how to maneuver?
No, my parents were always quite resourceful, but I've always sort of been like that. I would never starve, put it that way. I would never starve. I've always been able to think quickly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're able to figure it out.
And it makes life interesting too. That it really makes life interesting and fun, and it's never boring. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's basically, that was sort of my background. I always did my modelling in between lots, because modelling you could sort of fit in. It's not a 9-to-5 job, so you can fit it in, whenever. It's you might only have, say, 3 jobs a week, 2 jobs a week. Some could be in the evening fashion parades, etc. So it was a really easy thing to fit in with what I was doing.
So how do you transition that from being a model to retiring? So you was a model, an entrepreneur, then you retired, and I see that you still maintain a healthy following of 73,000 on Instagram. How do you transition into this modern society and being on Instagram and marketing yourself from that perspective?
Okay, well, that was also, say, 3 years ago, I didn't even know what Instagram was. My daughter said to me when we were moving to Bali, she said, Mum, you should do Instagram. And I said, what's that? And she said, you've got a really great story to tell. And I said, have I? She said, you should do it. So I had no idea. And you know what an old person's like on a phone, it's a bad look. So she had to show me everything. And I can always remember I took my first picky, I took a photo, and I sent it to her and I said, what caption do you write on Instagram? She said, send me the photo. And I sent her the photo, and I had sort of big earrings on, and she just typed back and she said, the bigger the hoop, the bigger the hoe. I thought, okay, that'll work.
You said the bigger the hoop, the bigger the hoe?
So I had no idea. So that was the sort of thing she was teaching me. I had no idea. And everything I posted, I'd have to ask her, is this okay? Is that all right? And she said, oh, no, that's terrible. Don't put that up. And so I just learned along the way.
She was kind of like your consultant.
Yeah, exactly right. And it was, it was just learning, and I never sort of stage and think. It's just what we're doing during the day. So it's never out, posing somewhere in a fake outfit. It's just doing stuff as we're doing, and I sort of say it what we're doing and how life is. Sometimes your days are good, sometimes they're bad, or we always have a fun day. So I just try to make it fun as well, and relatable to people. That's what I like to be. I like to be relatable. That's probably the word I like to be most, that people, from all walks of life. And I'm also very aware, people can be looking at me from, maybe America, in a small town, a lady my age on a pension, she hasn't got much money. And I don't want to be trying to flog her a face cream of $200. That's the thing I don't want to do. I'm really aware of everyday ordinary people are just watching. I try to make everything affordable for everyone. So, most people can, maybe afford $7. That's the face cream I use. It's nothing fancy, but it works. So I really want to show them things that actually work, that I actually use. I don't want to be up there flogging stuff. That's not what I'm about.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be expensive to be good.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. And, everyone gets so sucked into branding and marketing. So, I'm really aware of that as well. So, I just try to keep it fun. And, I'm still learning as I'm, just even, trying to connect with you guys this morning. That was a bit of a feat for me as well, going on to Zoom and, all that type of thing. So I'm learning every day what I do. And I think that keeps you young as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you find that most of your followers are women like close to your age, or like in their 30s? What's the demographic of like people that follow you?
My main follower is actually American, and they're women 45 to 65. That's my main followers, American ladies. Yeah, and they're all really all really nice as well, and a lot of British ladies as well, but mainly American ladies. And they're always fun, and they always ask really nice questions as well.
That's awesome. I like that you have built this kind of international community, of friends that you have that are kind of just along for the ride and enjoying the life with you. I also like what you said about your daughter, the bigger the hoops, the bigger the hoe, that you just exude this sense of humor and playfulness, that you're not taking life too seriously, and you're like, it's funny, it's humorous, like if it makes somebody smile kind of thing. So I love that you're bringing that to your work as well.
That's it. I think some people just take life far too seriously, and we're really life is for living, not for looking. And I always tell that to people. It's and another thing I always think, people always say, "Oh, how do you afford what you do?" And really, it's cheaper to live here than it is in Australia. But I always say to them, "Look, you're not going to run out of money, but I'll tell you, you're going to run out of time."
Absolutely.
And that's the thing that you are going to run out of. And people forget that in their 60s. They think they're going to live forever. But, when you think about it, 17 years, I'm going to be 80 now. Isn't that scary? Mm-hmm. So, you've got to, and it's like last night, we just decided, spur of the moment, tomorrow we're going to fly early to Lombok. We can travel inside Indonesia. So we're going to go surfing tomorrow in Lombok. So we like just doing things like that. My husband does. He's actually, how old is he? 69. And he still surfs. He's the oldest surfer here in Bali. And so we just thought, why not? Let's do it. I know they're all 30-year-olds that will be there, but we don't care. We just go along and have fun as well, show them how to have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. Not having that intimidation too of, someone who's younger or whatever, like you said, like it doesn't matter if you're enjoying life, live it. You're here. You might as well take advantage of that.
That's it. That's exactly right. You've, and you've got to, I think, not get caught up in all the material side of life as well. I know when we left Australia, I think it's our 5th year we've been here. And, our plan was originally to live here for 8 months of the year, then travel the rest, Vietnam, Thailand, and say Europe. But, that hasn't panned out the last, 2 years, or the last year we haven't been able to go anywhere. But that's our normal plan.
I am curious, kind of your fitness regimen that you have took over more or less when you were around 30 that you kind of just started to have that routine. Is there something that kind of changed for you when you were 30 that, pushed you more into that routine? Or was it like you just woke up and you're like, I'm going to look amazing for the rest of my life?
That trigger? Good question, dude.
Yeah, I was. I remember I used to play tennis in those days. I had 3 small children. I could take the kids along with me. I used to play tennis on a Tuesday, and I remember seeing a girl there, a girl that I knew from a long time. I thought, wow, you look really great. What are you doing? She said, I do aerobics. In those days, it was the Jane Fonda days. That's taking you back a while.
Oh, Jane Fonda, yeah.
Some of the most fabulous hair you'll ever see.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And those little G-string outfit things that you used to wear, they were the cutest. And I thought, I'm going to start. And I didn't know a thing about aerobics. And I started and I got hooked. And then and it was something I could do with the kids because those days you could take your kids along to the gym and they could, or the aerobics class, and they could be babysat. So I used to do that. And that was a nice outing for me because you must remember my husband was away for months at a time and I would often not speak to an adult for weeks, so it was lovely to get out and speak to adults and also get fit. So I started just doing it like that.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of like mental health care as well as the physical health care to be able to see peers.
Yeah, and what I used to love about it, as I was telling you about the fashion side of it, I used to think I'll make all my own like little leotardy things. So I used to do all of that as well. So I used to have the best gym gear. So I would, it'd be killing two birds with the one stone, wasn't it? You were, I had the fashion side, the fitness side. So yeah, it was perfect for me. And getting out the house and meeting people.
So what you're wearing currently, is that something that you created?
Yes, I very rarely go into a shop now. I just design everything. It's funny, I woke up this morning about 4:30 because I'm going to the fabric shop today and to the dressmaker, and I was thinking things over my mind, how I've got to design things. And, I'm also going to a dressmaker that doesn't speak any English, so I've got to try and think of the right words for her and, get it all together. So that's a lot. That's quite challenging in itself.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like you back down from a challenge, though. So the clothing that you do design and you do make, obviously you wear. Do you sell that clothing? Do you sell the patterns for it? Is that just for your personal enjoyment?
That's for me. I mean, I've worked all my life, and I just can't be bothered. And it sounds easy and glamorous, but honestly, I know what it's all about. It's not, and especially be okay if I lived in America, it would be easy. But I'm living here in Bali, and I can just tell you, doing business in Bali, it's so hard. I just design for myself, and it's fun.
Yeah.
But what about when you on Instagram and you model your clothes? I know you have probably have tons of DMs like, Sheila, what's going on? I love your outfit. Can I get it? What about if they throw that number out at you? Is that something that would entice you, or you were like, no, this is my personal collection?
I get it all the time. Will you start a collection? Will you start a collection? But I just don't want to, it's just, I know the work involved in any business. So it's a lot of work and it's a full-time thing. So I'm just going to enjoy life now for me.
So you're totally retired. You're like, hey, I know that I stumbled across other businesses in the past that have been successful, but you're done now.
I'm done. And, but I'm accumulating too many clothes. And that was that's what I was getting back to actually when I was saying when we were leaving Australia. People would say to me, we've been married a long time, like I said, 44 years this year. So you can imagine the stuff that you have, you've got stuff. So we decided very quickly, I'm talking about weeks, that we were going to sell everything. So we left Australia with 2 30-kilogram suitcases each. That was it, not even a carry-on. And so we sold everything. So we own basically nothing in Australia whatsoever. No house, no car, nothing. Everything was sold.
Wow.
And people would say to me, how can you let go of all your beautiful artwork and your furniture and, blah, blah, blah. But I'd say to them, look, I can sit on this lovely sofa and I think, but I would much rather be sort of sitting on a beach in Bali or sitting on a beach in Europe somewhere. that to me is enjoying life, not just, patting my sofa thinking that's wonderful. But yeah, so it was, once you made up your mind to sell everything, it was easy. But I find now with clothes, I'm accumulating a few. So I'll, if we when we leave Bali, I'll have to get rid of them all. I give a lot of clothes to our cleaner as well, our housekeeper. So she loves it too.
Nice.
Yeah, but yeah, so people do have too many material possessions, and that's one thing I haven't missed. Since we've been doing this for the last 5 years, you learn not to have stuff. You learn, you can look at nice things in shops, nice furniture. You think, oh, that's great, but you don't want to own it.
Yeah, it sounds like you've really embraced I don't know if you're familiar, the KonMari method of, does it bring you joy? If it doesn't bring you joy and add to your ultimate goal, then you just wish it peace and you part with it.
Exactly.
That's exactly right. And it really does free up your life. Honestly, I can't tell you how much it does, because you're free then to do anything. Now, imagine if we had a house in Australia, you'd always be thinking, oh, I better go back and check what the tenants are doing, check this, check that. We don't have to do that. So we can go anywhere, anytime. I mean, if this was normal times, of course, we could travel anywhere. But yeah, normal times, we can do anything, anytime that we like. And we only ever buy one-way tickets to somewhere. When we're flying, we say, well, we could be going 7 weeks, we could be 7 months. And that's often happened. I remember about 2 years ago, we went we were in Greece. We thought we'd go to Crete. We were going to stay there for 5 nights. We ended up there 12 weeks. So we just do things like that. Yeah. Just do things like that.
So what kept you there for 12 weeks? Was it just, you were just enjoying it, or?
We're just enjoying it. It was summer and it was just, I don't know, it was just perfect. It was just, I don't know what we did with our days. We just chilled, and every day rolled into the next. And it was really, we met some great people. And that's one thing about traveling. You meet some amazing, like-minded people. I don't meet some people on holiday that stay in 5-star hotels. I find them really boring, actually. They are. You find the most boring people in 5-star hotels, where if you go maybe 3 or 4-star, that's when you
I find it like 4-star, because you got people that like, they kind of live well, but they really still conservative with their money, but then you got people like really that not living like that, but just want to splurge and live life. So you have the mixture, right? So I think 4 stars is like right on the money.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah. Because I find people in 5-star hotels, or when you do go to a 5-star hotel, they basically go to their room, they shut their door, they eat in the hotel, they don't do too much. They're just, it's like being on a cruise. You're not really, it's nice, but you're not seeing an awful lot, experiencing an awful lot. I'd rather get into the really, really find out about the city, and the people that are in the 3 and 4 stars, they know all the good stuff. And that's what you've got to do. The good stuff is the fun stuff. Anyone can eat in a fancy hotel anywhere in the world. You want to go where the locals eat. That's where you get the good stuff.
Very true.
You said something about what you don't miss, and you spoke heavily on that. What do you miss about like being back home in Australia and like having that structure, or that structured lifestyle?
Well, that's what I don't want, is structure. So I don't miss the structure. So the only thing that I miss, and normally I meet friends overseas. So Australian friends, I'll meet them in Europe or something like that. So all my friends seem to travel. So I generally meet friends once or twice a year overseas, or we'll go back to Australia, say 2 to 3 times a year to see. We've got grandkids and kids, or they'll come out here, but that hasn't been able to happen. But as far as missing anything in Australia, I don't. I know I should, but I don't. I really like what we're doing, and I couldn't go back to living a normal suburban life. I just couldn't do it. I would think, oh, this is boring. Get me out of here.
Yeah. And you were saying, that you should. Definitely no shoulds. If you don't, you don't. And, like you said, you're enjoying where you're at. Should is not a part of life.
That's it. And even I see it more so now during COVID. And I find, friends back in Australia, they're very scared of COVID. They say, oh, is that safe to do? I'm thinking, of course it's safe to do. But I think that I know you've got to be careful. You really have to be careful. But you don't have to be terrified either.
What part of Bali are you located in? Like, what space?
We're near. You might have heard it's near Uluwatu, which is a very famous surf beach. It's very all round really famous surf beaches that we live. We can actually walk them, so we don't. We always ride to them. We have surfboards, but so it's in the south of Bali. So it's a very pretty spot, and it's really quiet here at the moment. And, I just love it. I know I shouldn't say that, but, there's no tourists here, and it's just like it's really like living in paradise right now.
That sounds
I know
absolutely
it's sad for the Balinese. Yeah, it's for the Balinese. It's very sad, of course, but from a personal point of view, I really like it. Really like it.
Did Bali really get hit with the So now I know tourism is like their main money maker. With COVID, like, how did that affect the economy then?
Well, it's basically the rate here for hotels. The ones that are open, there's not many open, are less than 1%. Less than 1%. So that gives you an idea. The borders are closed. There's no tourists coming in. So there's no tourists here. And the only way you can get in is if you have like a retirement visa like us, or you have maybe a business visa, and then you have to quarantine to get here. But so there's no one here. There's just some expats, lots of Russians here, lots of Russian expats here, of course. But that's about all. There's really no one around. Good.
She said, good. I like it.
Yeah.
Silver lining. I wanted to touch on a little bit when you were younger and you had young kids and you were still doing the modeling. I want to know, because I'm a mother myself, and fitness is definitely a struggle, I know, for a lot of mothers. Did you experience like any discrimination for being a mother? Was there any, like comments about your body as a mother or anything like that you experienced? Because I know that there's a lot of shame still, and especially back then around, just being a woman who has had children. Did that affect you at all?
Not in any shape or form. No, I never experienced any problems like that at all. Being female, yeah, it's never been a problem for me. No matter what I've done, and even when I was selling Harley Davidson parts, that was a really male industry. I was probably the only female in it, and never, even then, it didn't make any difference. As long as you can do your job, that's the thing. Yeah, so as long as you can do your job, you know what you're talking about. That's the main criteria, I think. So to me, I've never experienced being male or female. Didn't matter. So I was always lucky in that regard. And I don't know really anyone that I've come across that have experienced that, to be honest with you.
That's amazing. Yeah, because like I said, I know that a lot of mothers, even just in like regular office jobs and stuff, maybe, your feet get swollen when you're pregnant, not being able to wear high heels or, the tiny skirts that you used to be able to, or what have you, that you're just looked at a different way. It's almost as if you became a whole different beast than you used to be post children than before children. So it's sometimes an interesting experience but I also love that you have not had that experience, that you've continued to educate yourself and put yourself in a position and surround yourself with supportive people as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, and I surround myself with supportive people, positive people. I just hate those people that drain your energy.
Oh man, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and they do. They're like, I think they call them some sort of a vampire, don't they? An emotional vampire. There's some name for them, and yeah, I can't be bothered with that. So I like to be surrounded with positive people. So I've always been lucky. All my friends are very positive and very outgoing and very entrepreneurial as well. So I've always enjoyed that type of a person, male and female.
Gotcha.
Never scared to have a go.
So I have a question. So say I'm 40 years old and I'm thinking about retirement, right? And I'm saying, man, I'm looking at Sheila. I'm like, she look amazing. That's what I want to be when I grow up. What would you give that 40-year-old woman? What type of advice you would give her as far as like from a mindset standpoint, fitness standpoint, career standpoint to get to your level of success and happiness?
I think with life, you always have got to have a sense of humor. I think, and you know, that's with marriage as well. You've always got to have a sense of humor. And I think don't take things too seriously and be prepared to be able to change quickly. I think that's important, especially in this day and age, you know, with COVID, etc. Career-wise, you've got to be able to not just do one thing these days. You've got to be able to do many things. And I think you've got to focus on having a few fingers in the pie of different things. And be very open to ideas, because you just never know where things can lead. So I think that's very important. You've got to be open-minded. It's very important to keep yourself fit, because I especially think once you hit 60, things start to go wrong. In your body quite quickly, they do. And I have, friends or people that I even see on Instagram, they will say, they hit 60, things are starting to go wrong, but they haven't kept themselves fit. And, I'll often get messages from people, saying, oh, we ate what you said for a fortnight and, I haven't lost, a stone or, 2 kilos. I'm thinking, that is not the point. You're missing the point. It's not about 2 weeks. It's about a lifetime.
They want into that instant gratification.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've just got to, it's a lifestyle. You've just got to just do it every day. You've got to, be good every day. But I think someone that's going to retire, I don't think, people, I think sometimes people retire too late. I think, when you're 70, it's too late. You can't do as what you want to do. And I see that a lot of the times, when we travel at airports, I see couples that are maybe in their late 70s, she's pushing him in a wheelchair. And I'm thinking, how can you be bothered? It looks too hard. You've left it too late.
So what's the ideal age? What's the ideal age that you could retire comfortably? You should be able to retire comfortably and still be active.
I think 60 is a good age. I really think 60, you should then, maybe have enough money or be able to go onto some sort of a pension system in whatever country you're from. And, and then your body should, hopefully you still maintain your body. So you can still enjoy life, do things that you could do when you were 40. Because to me, there was no difference between 40, 50 and 60. There's, I don't feel any different than I did when I was 18. So I always...
At this age, are you just saying that because like you're a public figure, or you really feel that way?
I don't. It's funny. I remember last year or the year before when we were traveling, my husband and I, we were hiking up in the mountains somewhere in Germany. And there was a couple in front of us. And I said to my husband, I said, aren't they wonderful at that age doing that type of thing, hiking? And he looked at me and he said, Sheila, he said, they're much younger than us. He said, we're that age. And I got quite a surprise. I thought, he is so right.
No, shit, that's us. We doing that.
Yeah. So I thought, we are, and I forget that we are that age. I really just forget. I just don't.
So your husband look like you? Your husband look like gorgeous? Like
he looks great. People think he's probably 45. He looks great. He looks really good.
So y'all both have the same mindset of it. So it's really a lifestyle for both of you and your husband.
Yeah, he is. I have to constantly remind him. He could easily, Yeah, I have to constantly say, let's go for a walk. Let's do this. He's probably the naughty one of us. So,
Gotta have a
all
balance.
men, we need women. We all naughty, right? We dumb and we naughty. And without our women, who would we be? So I totally understand.
I'm his handbrake.
Got you. Definitely.
You're like, just one piece of chocolate cake. We're gonna.
Yeah. Or I think. Yeah, or maybe we shouldn't drink beer every night of the week. That's not a good idea. So I'm definitely the handbrake of the relationship. But but he looks great. And honestly, he's hardly got a grey hair in his head. But I always say that because I've never given him a moment's stress. That's what I say to him anyhow.
That's what it is. Well, you said that's 40. How many years? 40 what?
44 years this year.
Woo,
yeah.
44.
I know. I can't believe it. That's for old people.
I got a question. I mean, I don't know if this is inappropriate or not, right? But 44 years, you've been married 44 years, been together 44 years. You say at 63, this is like the best time of your life. So from a sex standpoint, being retired, like that's still like a thing, or like you need extra to get there? Like, because sex is a big part of happiness. So, like, what is that like?
Absolutely. It's still part of it. And honestly, I have to say to my husband, he's that sort of guy where you could be just, bending over the dishwasher. And I'm thinking, really, do you mind?
Let's go.
So,
still, at his age, at 69.
Yes, so he's still a lot of fun, and it's still a major part of your marriage and your relationship, and it should be.
Sure.
Yeah, what I'm hearing too is that I think the thing that I'm hearing that kind of sets apart your lifestyle is that you continue to maintain, you continue to work at it. And like you said, it doesn't have to, even with your relationship, it doesn't have to be going to the gym and, lifting 1,000 pounds. It's the water bottles filled with sand. It's like just a little bit every day, and you're able to maintain that and keep that going. And I think that that's something that people miss so frequently. We get distracted so easily that we forget to maintain the things that are important to us.
Yes. And it's the KISS method, isn't it? Keep it simple, stupid. And people, they overcomplicate everything these days. And that's all you need, just some water bottles, like I said, fill with the sand, and you've got a gym, haven't you? And that's it. Yeah. That's all you need.
I like that saying, keep it simple, stupid. Because, you be at the gym and people doing they doing arm curls, but they doing like this, and they extending it, and they doing something else. You be like, man. Yeah. Does that work, or is he just trying to show off? Like, I'm confused. KISS, keep it stupid, keep it simple, stupid. I like that.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. And I know I'm always a local amusement around here because where we are, it's quite rural, and I'm always walking with these hand weights, and all the locals want to stop and see what I'm doing and feel the hand weights, and they just can't believe someone can do it quite so simply. You don't have to go to the gym to keep a good shape or maintain fitness, and it's so good for your bone health as well. To lift weights, and especially with women, when they hit menopause and stuff like that, they start to get osteoporosis. So it's really, really important. More important, I think, for females to lift a little bit of weight. It doesn't have to be heavy, a little bit.
Yeah. Absolutely. You kind of sparked my memory of two people that I really admire. One is Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who was one of the Supreme Court justices here. She died last year. But she did the Canadian Air Force exercise every single day because she believed that if her body could keep working, her mind could keep working as well. So she just kept that sharp.
That's wonderful. Yeah, it is so important, and especially like with menopause, things like that. It's very important because that's when all your bones start to crumble and deteriorate, and that's the most problems I think with women over 50, which is good. And even look, my mother, she lives in Australia. She's tiny. She's only 4'10", and she's Irish. She's 93 and she still walks 8 kilometres every day.
Mm-hmm. Irish women.
Yeah.
I was going to say that the second woman that inspires me is my great grandmother, Macone, also passed, but she lived to 102. And she was independent until she was, until she passed away. She prided herself on reading the books and the magazines that her great grandchildren were reading, because she said that she never wanted to be outwitted by a younger person. And she's like, I am going to keep up until the day that I die. And if you do that. Yeah,
it is. And especially now with technology, you really have to learn, and, it's out of your comfort zone. But, once you've it takes me longer to master everything because I did grow up with that. But, I eventually mastered. Last night I was trying to figure out something for a new blog I was writing, and I eventually figured it out. That yes, I didn't have to phone a friend or phone my daughter. I was able to do it. So you can do it. It's but it just takes a bit longer because it doesn't come naturally. So it's you've got to. I think that's so true what you said. You've got to keep ahead with especially technology these days. You don't want to be left behind, and you can be so easily if you're not on the ball.
So we are coming to the top of the hour. Phoenix, do you have one more question?
Oh, no. I was just saying, she was mentioning the social media, you got to stay on top of technology. And I said, thank God for you said it was your daughter or your granddaughter?
My daughter. She lives in Bali as well.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
So yeah. She caught the bug from you all, or was she there before you?
She did. No, she decided to come when we said that we were coming. She just thought, I may as well, come also. And she loves it here. She has a nice lifestyle here, a nice boyfriend, and she surfs. So she has a great lifestyle, really good lifestyle. Loves it.
That sounds lovely. And to be close to another family member is very nice.
Yeah, it's lovely. We enjoy it. Really enjoy it.
So as we wrap up, I do wonder, with the following that you have on social media and the community that you've built throughout your lifetime, what is the impact that you're hoping to leave, or kind of the legacy that you're hoping to leave for others?
I hope to inspire people, to get out of that chair, to move your body, make your life interesting, and just remember, life is for living, not for looking. And that's what I just want them to do. Just enjoy it, because we're here for such a short time. You've got to enjoy every second, and not scared. Have a go. Like, what's the worst that can happen, really? Nothing bad's going to really happen. So just get out and have a go, and don't be so materialistic either. Just have fun and travel. That's your best education. I've learned more in travel, from travel than what I have in school. I can tell you that for sure.
Yeah, agreed. And I haven't even traveled nearly as much, but that's definitely something. You've inspired me, at the very least, to follow your lead, to move more, to travel more, to live more freely. I love that. It's beautiful.
That's it. It's important. It really is. And then you'll enjoy life and enjoy it right to the end, whenever the end is.
Agreed.
Absolutely. And it's something that you said earlier that I like to live by. You work to live, not live to work. So you need to get your life together if you're not doing it. I agree. Yeah, that's exactly. I love it. Yeah, that's so true. So very true. Before you go, we would like to you to join us to our favorite part of the show, for our thing of the week. Our thing of the week, Sheila, is when we provide our audience with something that inspired us, rather than be like a quote, a passage, a movie, experience that we want to provide our audience to the next time we see them next week. So without further ado, my thing of the week is this. My thing of the week is, I want you to define your purpose. Think about it. What is your purpose? Your purpose in life revolves around, one, your career. Based on your purpose, you find your partner or your spouse. You should pick your friends and navigate and interact with people that move towards said purpose. So stop and think about that. What is your purpose in life? Is your career moving towards that purpose? Is the person you're with growing towards that 40-something years in that retirement life like Sheila's? What is your purpose? Coach Phoenix, role model mindset, Coach Gina.
Always love your thing of the week, Phoenix. So my thing of the week is a quote by Corey Boom, which says, "Worry does not empty tomorrow of its sorrow. It empties today of its strength." So don't bring the worries of tomorrow onto today. As Sheila said, live today. You never know when it's going to end. Be adventurous, have fun, enjoy it. Surround yourself by people that support you and love you. Create your world.
That's deep. I love it. I love it. Sheila, do you have anything for the audience? Is something that you would like to provide them with so that they meet with us again next week?
Something that's inspired you this week?
Yeah.
Inspired me this week. Oh, I meet a lot of inspirational people, but I'm just trying to think of anything special that I'm just trying to think of something inspirational. I was watching a documentary on an Australian girl that was badly burnt in a fire, and she's a motivational speaker now. Talia Pitt, her name is, I think. Wonderful woman, and she was an incredible inspiration to me as well. Just hearing how she's had children as well. She was burnt, I think, about 85% of her body. So she was an inspiration to me, just watching and looking at her. And she used to be a stunning looking lady, but she still is. It's her personality that's stunning right now. Yeah. So yeah, I think just be your best self. That's the most important thing. Be your best self every day, and don't take life too seriously. That's the thing. Have fun along the way.
That's awesome. Yes, I love it as well. And that's a great way to leave this off. Audience, Sheila, appreciate you. Thank you. Audience, thank you for joining us again. Coach Phoenix, Coach Gina, Toast with the Coaches. And we're out. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.